Let's see if it can be third time lucky for the Soca Warriors. This one floated at the far post, header towards goal, and it has gone in. 1-0 to Trinidad and Tobago. Third time lucky. Disappointing defending from the Jamaicans. Phillips. Here's Tyreek McGee. Wonderful pass to Phillips, who's onside. Phillips with a looping cross at the far post. Brought down. Header towards goal now. And it has gone in. On goal.
Fate is a cruel. Fate is a cruel mistress. Fate is a cruel mistress. Own goal by Trinidad. That ball.
So the Reggae Boyz are set to play Trinidad and Tobago for the 31st time in 2 years. In 2 years, people. So welcome back, people, to MG Sports TV. Thank you very much again for tuning in. And let me tell you something, people. It's not 31 match. Yeah, we know that. But the amount of friendly that we have played with the Trinidad team so far, it seems tremendous. It seems like a lot. Maybe it's a lot, maybe not, but it definitely seems a lot. And when I heard about the Unity Cup, initially, me I say, yeah, we're going to play some teams outside of the region, especially a friendly. Some teams maybe in England, some probably a team in Europe, something of that nature. Even not, if you can say the African Cup. A couple more teams in Africa. So I got a little bit excited for that. Then, if I'm being honest, I got a little bit down when I heard that Trinidad would be the first game. I would have played 2 games and one is versus Trinidad. And it's not to say that there's no respect for Trinidad, or Trinidad is not good, but because we have played them so much time in recent time, it's starting to get boring. No, not necessarily that the competitiveness of the game are not there, but it's just start to feel, when they do something so much time, they start to lose the joy and fun out of it. But it's a good matchup, it's a good bit of rivalry between these two teams. Time and time again, they have been going at it. And it's very, very interesting to see. Anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much again, people, for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. It is the Unity Cup. Is that Pro African Invitational? I think that missing on the JFF page. More address it the right way. Let me address it the right way. The Unity Cup Afro-Caribbean Invitational. Yeah. And the 2 Caribbean teams are Jamaica and Trinidad. And then we have Nigeria and Ghana. They will be playing against each other whilst we play against Trinidad. No, maybe them set this up, them structure like that because they want to ensure that the 2 teams, a Caribbean team versus the African team, meet in the finals. They may be structured that way so you ensure you get that matchup. That could be the case. But maybe can you imagine if the 2 African teams, we play Nigeria, Trinidad play Ghana, and the 2 of them lose, and then the 2 African teams meet up. So maybe that's not what they want. They want a mixture. They ensure that the structure that they have to have a mixture. And we all know the importance of these games in regards to community development, the youngsters them, and also I do think that this is a targeted movement to get into those communities in England, in London, wherever the case may be, to get some of those should I say dual citizens, heritage players, and let them see what happens, let them get a feeling of what's happening. Get some of those heritage players to see what's happening, to see just the experience. And I think that definitely this is a little bit targeted for that little multicultural thing. It's a good look, and I think it's a very good initiative, because if we want to get the best of the best of the CEOs, and sometimes when them see you up front straight, you know, them seeing with them two eyes, you get a different feeling. Especially knowing that a lot of the players that will play are players who are already playing in England. So there's that bit of familiarity that is in it. So it's really, really interesting. All right. So the last time Jamaica played against Trinidad, we played a two-match series. One in Montego Bay. Montego Bay? Yeah, one in Montego Bay, catching all. And the next one was played at Arnett Garden. Down at Arnett Garden. Quite very, very interesting. The one that played at Montego Bay, the game ended. Was it nil all? Never can remember. Anyways, and the one that played at Arnett Garden ended 1-1. I think Jamaica, what you normally find is like the points, the match settings them normally be quite close. Either one team win 1-0, or the next team win 1-0, or the game draw 1-1. And that has been the ping pong battle between the two teams. Now the game that played on Arnett Garden, I'll go a little bit more detail that because that was the last game. The opening goal came from Josiah Trinidad from a header on the near post. I do believe that Wade should have done a lot better with that. That was not one of his best moments. It was a corner from a set piece, and maybe that is something that we definitely have to go and work on. That happened in 28 minutes. We can't take the Trinidad teams lightly because they do have reinforcement. It's not the same team. Well, predominantly the same players, but they do have reinforcement, just the same as how we have reinforcement in the team right now, which in itself is a good look. I think definitely that's a good look. And then now we had to scrape it. We literally had to scrape it. No, the first game was a draw. And then the second game a draw as well. We literally had to scrape it in the last dying moment. Nikolai Fuller with a cross inside the box, and Arborn headed the ball headed down, and the goal scorer in the early minutes of the game, Josiah Trinidad, cleared the ball, and the ball ended up right in the back of his net. I can imagine at the time, 90 plus 4, 5 minutes was added on, and it happened in the 90 plus 4 minutes. Can you imagine how disappointed he must have felt about that? But at the end of the day, we're looking forward to see what this matchup will look like. We're going to go in also into the predicted starting lineup, and this one is also quite interesting. We do have some quality players in the team. We have seen now the inclusion of Ravel Morrison, which means automatically he will get the nod to start. Let me see. So take out the pen and paper, go in the comment section right now and tell me what your starting lineup will look like. All right, so starting lineup. Here we go now. Where goalkeeper is concerned, Shaquan Davis is the goalkeeper who is actually predominantly in the senior setup. So I expect him to be the next keeper in line. If Andre Blake is not there, if Jamal Waite is not there, so I expect him to be next in line. So I'm going to say Shaquan Davis to start in goal. I'm going to the 4-2-3-1 formation. Right back we have Dexter Lembikisa. Well, predominantly that would be definitely be expected. Left back, I'm going with Amari Bell. Now, this selection is predominantly and if everyone is fit and available. That's where I'm going. Yes, we saw Mikel Antonio training, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that we might see Mikel Antonio playing because we already know the situation, the incident and such forth. If he's in top condition, to be starting in matches as yet, we are unsure where that is concerned. I am unsure that is concerned. So I'm not going to show much effort. I'm not going to show much in that. Centre back period, I'm going for Mason Holgate and Richard King. Now, we could most definitely have Amar Bell playing a little bit of the centre back role and Greg Lee playing left back. Could definitely go for that. But what we don't want to do, I'm going to go for players who would play naturally in their position rather than a mix and change and play players out of position. No, we're not going to go for that one this time around. In the middle of the park, I'm going with the double pivot. Isaac Aiden is the first name I'm going to go with. And then, most definitely, man on form, John Russell. I think that should provide some balance. What we saw in the last game with Isaac Aiden, Steve McLaren tend to deploy Isaac Aiden more of a box-to-box in the last couple of games that they have played. So I think with John Russell sitting, even though John Russell himself I play a little bit more of box-to-box role. So one of them have got sit. One of them definitely have got sit. I think more than likely we might see John Russell sitting and giving Isaac Aiden that bit of freedom. Now we're going to the attacking phase where we have quite a lot of numbers. On the left hand side, I'm going with Ronaldo Cephas. He's normally one of the first players off the bench for Steve McLaren. So I'm assuming that since Liam Bale is not Liam Bale, Demarai Gray is not here, Ronaldo Cephas now got his opportunity to showcase what he can do. On the right hand side, I'm going to go with Kaim Dixon. I'm going to go with Kaim Dixon for this one. A long time I want to get the opportunity to start in a game, so I'm very, very happy that this well for him. So I'm hopeful that he will get this opportunity. I mean, I hope he score as well. In the attacking midfield position now, the man himself, Ravel Morrison. Now, this is solely based on if he can showcase what we know that he can do. That is only based on that. If Steve McLaren is impressed with what he sees in training and say, no, yes, you look sharp, you look fit and ready, and you can most definitely give what we need. So I will definitely put Ravel Morrison in number 10 position. And this is also a position that Ravel Morrison haven't played in a long, long while because of how the structure of our team under Al Grimson. We're a little bit more defensive. Ravel Morrison was the ball handler. And because he's the sole ball handler in the team, he had to be dropping deep every time. Now that we have some ball handlers in the defensive midfield position, he does not necessarily need to drop so deep because we have players who can break the first line and put the ball in at his feet in zone 14, and we know what he can do in that area. And leading the line, I'm going to go with man in form, Jamaica Premier League leading goal scorer, Werner Brown. Now the whole aspect of this front line is interchangeable. Kaim Dixon can go down the middle. Werner Brown can go on the right. Cephas can go down the middle as well. Cephas can go in line. So there should be some level of fluidity in this setup, and I think most definitely we can get that from it. So tell me what you're thinking in the comment section. I think this is supposed to close off. Match prediction. Games are always close. I'm going to go with 2-1 in favor of Jamaica. I'm going to go at 2-0. I think we can keep a clean sheet. I'm going to go 2-0. Jamaica 2, Trinidad and Tobago 0. And I'm interested to see how this game panned out. Big up on yourself, people. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys again. Until next time. MG Sports TV. We're out. God bless. Outside. Boom. Outside. Now the girls are what? Outside.